All right, good Sunday morning, and Yabba Dabba Doo sports fans. Not a big audience yet, but I'm sure you're coming, as your Steel City Selects are in Game 2 of our own Steel City Invitational round robin play here at Barrel in Pittsburgh. We're up in Warrendale, just south of Cranberry. We are on the Galaxy rink, I believe this one is. This is the tighter of the two here, if you're familiar with Barrel. So we got the tight views, which means lots of swinging as we bring you this game between your Steel City Selects 14U girls in their travel blacks with the gold and white trim, and these New Jersey Colonials in their home whites with the red and blue trim. As always, 3 periods of 15-minute 14U girls hockey action. 2 minutes to go on the warm-up clock. DJ Noisy Noise and I seem to have a good truce here today. The music's at a good level, which always happens when we're here at our home rink, because we've got that figured out. So shouldn't be as big of an issue as it was yesterday. I also don't have a speaker 10 feet from my head, which also helps. So minute 40 on the warm-up clock. I will be back with you for puck drop. Sorry, still making some adjustments here. It was a quick change from the game before us. I like to be in position early, and I could not get in position until the Zamboni got on the ice. So still feeling out the position here, getting everything set and squared away to do huddle and live stream. And we're getting that underway here shortly with a minute 11 on the warm-up clock. So you see the shake, and that's just me getting ready to do the huddle video on the slave device that rides behind the other camera here, so I'm just getting organized. Apologies for that. We don't get a big vantage point here. We're tight. We're 8 feet from the glass, which makes it interesting. But you know what? We'll do the best we can. That's all we can do. Thanks for being here on a Sunday morning. Quick Steel City Selects lineup update. Mrazek and Panetta both back today after sickness yesterday, so we're going to run with a full bench. As you hear the buzzer, the warm-up clock has expired, and we're going to see what we can get done here today. We've got half the Claherty family and friends here today. Heather brought a whole tribe with her to cheer for Malia today. They're right in front of me to my left, so if anything exciting happens and you see a bunch of people jump up, that's the Claherty clan. They're waving to you there on the screen as the audience arrives. So we'll bring you the pregame net huddle here, and then we will switch back to center ice as we get ready to get this game underway. If history serves, it should be goaltender Kanachi today. We'll see if she takes the pipes when the action starts. We're around 10-15 minutes late here. The game ahead of us went into a shootout, and it ended late to begin with, so that made it challenging. But you know what? We'll get her going. There they go. We're going to skate over to Coach Black, Coach Claherty, Coach Moon, and Coach Zivkovic for some final instructions. And then we'll get this underway. The action here on the near wall is going to be in your living room. As I said, I'm 8 feet from the glass on the Galaxy rink here at Barrel. Looks like it's going to be Claherty, Klein, and Walkoskis. No. Looks like they're going to put Claherty on defense with Kiesel, move Dull up to offense with Klein and Walkoskis. We'll get the huddle video going, and now Claherty breaks. So that might have been a design break to fool the other team. It didn't really do much. And here comes Claherty through center ice. Claherty up the near wall. As it goes into the near corner, it's blind for you, it's blind for me. They're going to battle back there. I'm right at the top edge of the glass, so it distorts a little for me, but we'll work through it. And they're going to battle in that corner. They come out of there with it. Claherty dancing in front. Claherty with a backhand, misses far side. around to the point where Dahl holds it with her skate, sends it in deeper, takes it down that far wall, leaves it to Clarity. Clarity falls down, loses the puck. Dahl chops it into the corner. Walkoskis needs to go work behind the net. She does. Comes out of there with it, throws it off the skate of a Colonial in behind the net. Colonials take it to the near corner. They're going to continue to battle there. A little blind as there's a spectator standing in the way. Shot on net. Colonials goalie sends that to the far corner, where the Colonials pick it up, send it up. It hits Dahl. It hits a player on the bench, and we're going to get a face-off. Given the Colonial shot that, oh no, they're going to say they're going to bring it out. I thought since the Colonial shot that from in the zone and it went out, they would have put it in, but no. Crazy Eights, Yenny, Sherwood, and King are out here now with Marshall and Howe as it goes in behind, over to Howe. Howe throws it in lower, over to Yenny. Yenny to Sherwood. Sherwood dances in. Shot misses near side into the near corner where Sherwood follows it. Sherwood sends it around behind the net. King are going to go chase it over to the far corner. Howe jumps down, picks it up low. Howe skating along the end line. King covers her high. Howe still skating with the puck behind. Howe in front, throws it out front to King. King's open, settles, shoots. Goalie makes a save. I don't know that it ever got through. Over to the far side, and they chip it by Howe all the way back down, and it will be an icing. So we'll come back down here with 13:26 to go. Out comes Mrazek, Markasenka, and should be Clarity again, and we got Litz and Zivkovic back. So we'll see what we can do here. As Clarity steps in, takes this draw, sends it over to Mrazek. Mrazek backhands it low. Markasenka behind the net, picks it up, centers it, can't get it through to Clarity. Clarity does get it, turning out to the far point, or near point to Litz. Litz sends it, misses to the far side. Markasenka chases it over to the far wall. Zivkovic steps up, Clarity jumps back to cover her, and Clarity dumps it into the far corner. In behind the net, Mrazek applies pressure. They push it further up that far wall. Zivkovic cheats in, and Clarity jumps back. She almost tripped over her own skates. Here she comes back. Colonials up through the center, over to the far wall. Shot. Litz got a stick on it, sent it high into the glass. Clarity picks it up there. Loses it in the corner. They push it off Zivkovic skates to the wall. They now send it into the center of that far circle where Clarity picks it up, backhands it ahead to Mrazek. Mrazek has Markasenka, can't get it over there. Litz skates up, Litz takes it up the near wall. Litz gains the red line and dumps it into the corner. We get a change. Here comes Stevens, here comes Peets, here comes Kiesel. Panetta out there too. Stevens, center of the zone. Stevens shoots, hits a Colonial in the chest. Panetta sends it towards the net. She sends it over to the far corner, the goalie does. Out to the point, Kiesel holds. Kiesel sends it down past Stevens into the far corner, where Peets picks it up. Peets tries to center for Panetta, can't get it there. Cut off by Colonial. They send it up the far wall. Kiesel has to retreat. They push it by Grace. They're coming up behind her. She's going to push him over to the wall, hold them up. That's going to let Stevens step in. They push the puck lower. Colonials near far corner. Off Kanachi into the center zone. Here comes Panetta. Panetta with three Colonials back. She's coming up the near wall. Here comes Panetta. She bounced it off that wall. She's still skating. Panetta comes into the center. Panetta shoots. Never got the shot off as they tied her up. It's loose in front. Stevens. Stevens can't get a stick on it. This time it does get into the goalie off Stevens' stick. She covers it up, and we're going to get a draw in the near circle. And the crowd is wound up. So you'll feel the bleachers shaking in the camera. We'll see if we can get the atmosphere where it was in Detroit. Klein, Walkoskis, Clarity, Kiesel, and Dahl. They send it in deeper. Colonials pick it up behind the net. They send it around Klein. Klein has Clarity open, doesn't choose to pass it to her. Now she tried, it was too tied up. Here comes New Jersey back the other way. Kiesel cuts that off. Kiesel dumps it in, and Walkoskis was not quite out, and that will be an offsides. So we're going to come to the dot here, near dot, right behind the steel supports here. I guess they're probably aluminum, not that that matters. Klein, Walkoskis, Clarity, Kiesel, and Dahl. They're going to back up the traffic. They're backing up Clarity and a Colonial on the far side. Now they're backing up Walkoskis. They drop it. Walkoskis comes out of there with it. She sends it in barely to the blue line. The Colonials pick it up, come back the other way. They chip it ahead, cut off by Dahl. Dahl gets a shoulder, knocks that player down. Colonials send it ahead, Kiesel. Kiesel backhands it out back to neutral. Colonials have to wait for the zone to clear. Clarity takes that away. Colonials push it back the other way. Kiesel skates over, sends it ahead. Doesn't go far. Stand it up at the line, Klein. Colonials. No, now back to the Colonials. Klein couldn't clear. Kiesel. Kiesel gets a stick in there, disturbs that player. It's loose in between the circles, out to the near point. Comes through her legs. Here they come back the other way. Clarity falls down. Walkoskis steps up, can't get it. Here come the Colonials back the other way in front of me. They send it across the blue line. Now into the center zone. Colonials player alone. Colonials player and Kanachi. Kanachi with a shoulder save over to the far circle. Colonials, they dump it down the far corner. They send it back out to the point. Claherty digging. Walkoskis chips it by and she levels a girl. No call. Back to the top of the zone. Comes across Colonial center of the zone. They get between King and Peets. King chips it away. Yenny gets a stick on it. Now King. King over to Dull. It wasn't Peets, it was Dull. Now we've got the Colonials dropping it in deeper. Dull. Dull picks it up. Still can't chip it ahead. Colonials, top of the far circle. Send it in. King's feet. King directs it into the far corner. Kiesel. King. King up the far wall. Can't get it by Colonial as Kiesel levels a player. No call. Dull. Dull skates through the zone. Collides with King and they knock the puck down in the near circle. This could be trouble. Backhand in on Kanachi. Covers it up. So Kiesel leveled that girl with a two-hand extension high into her chest, and they didn't call it. That was as clear of a cross-check as I think we've seen in a while, and Stripes had amnesia on the rules on that one, thankfully. So we've got Klein out here now. I see Marshall, I see Makasenka, I see Mrazek and Howe. Out to the far wall. Mrazek chips it out. Makasenka hustling. Colonials pick it up, come back the other way. Colonials near side. Klein battling, Mrazek battling. They're on the board, near boards here. Colonials coming up the near wall with it. Marshall pushing that player to the corner. They take it around behind the net where Klein picks it up. They still battle back there. Marshall and a Colonial. Colonials player falls down. Marshall comes out of there with it. Marshall up the far wall. Bounces it off that wall, and Makasenka and the Colonials are going to have to go. This is going to get on crease, and that'll wave the icing. Goalie covers it up. And we're going to get a draw down here as Stevens, Panetta, Peets come out here with Marshall and Howe. And the crowd is getting wound up. You can feel the bleachers in the camera. Peets, face off, far circle. Peets try to draw it over to Stevens. Colonials player jumped out. Colonials up the far wall. They chip it by Panetta. They're going to go in the corner. Colonials are going to get there first. Panetta battling. Marshall steps in. Peets steps in. Goes around to the far wall. They skate around Stevens. They skate around Marshall. Or, sorry, Peets. They're in tight. Puck loose. Bounces into the near corner. Comes up to the near point. They send it across to the far point. They chip it around Stevens chasing. Panetta. Panetta bounces it up the wall for Stevens. They send it out. They send it in. And that is the definition of offsides. So we've got, let's see here. This will be Klein, Claherty, Walkoskis. Litz and Zivkovic back. Klein chips it back to the Colonials. She can't follow it. Comes back to the blue line, Litz. Litz right in front of us. Litz sends it up. Into the center where the Colonials pick it up. Walkoskis gets the stick on it. Here she comes the other way. She's got some room. Walkoskis around one. Over to the far side. Skating in on it. Shoots! Walkoskis finds the back of the net! Oh, Walkoskis makes it 1-0 Steel City. With 8:30 to go, first period, Walkoskis skates down the far side, finds an opening and buries it. And it's 1-0 Selects. So they will line up for another draw here. We're going to keep Claherty, Walkoskis, and Klein. Litz and Zivkovic. Klein draws it back. Litz up the wall, bounces it ahead. Colonials pick it up back in their zone. They bring it up the near wall. Litz battles, it drifts out at neutral. Claherty steps in front of a Colonial player and they send it down into the near corner. Claherty comes over battling, Zivkovic there. Two Colonials and Zivkovic. It's tight there in the corner with the scoreboard. There's a morass of people battling for it. Colonials come out of there with it. They send it in on net. Litz bounces it out on the far wall. Claherty chasing. D to D pass Colonials. They send it up to the near wall. It goes down that near wall where Klein's going to go battle. Klein comes out of there with it behind the net. Klein sends it far around. Over to the far point where the Colonials hold. They send it off Colonial skate. Here comes Walkoskis. Walkoskis one-on-one with the Colonials goalie. Nora Walkoskis saved by the goalie back to the wall. The rest of the team took the chance to change, and Nora's battling the entire team. And Nora got the stick up there at the end. Stripes is talking to her. And we're going to get a change here. Looks like the Crazy Eights, Yenny, King, Sherwood, Kiesel, and Dahl. as Walkoska skates to the bench, and Steph pats her on the head, and I'm sure there's a little bit of a calm down conversation going on over there. Kinger sends it over into the near corner, far corner. Got my near and my far backwards. As Sherwood sends it in deeper. You got Yenny. Yenny drops it off for King. King with a point-blank shot. Goalie with a nice save with 7:22 to go. So we're going to go back to that far circle, same players. Different time on the clock, same circle. Sherwood puts it out to the point to Dahl. Dahl tries to send it lower. It goes off of the leg pad, and Dahl needs to get there. She does. Pushes it over to Kiesel. Kiesel chips it ahead for Yenny. Yenny chips it into the zone. They need to chase it down the near wall. We're going to get down in the corner. Colonials are going to get there first. Kinger pushes it out. Sherwood pushes it over to the near wall. They push it back out to neutral. Kiesel puts it ahead, comes through with some legs, and the Colonials send it back. Colonials up the far wall. Kiesel's last one left shot. Kanachi gloves it and holds on for the draw with 6:48. Shot 6-3 in favor of the Selects. Scoreboard 1-0. 6:48 to go. First period. Walkoskis, Makasenka, Mrazek, Marshall, and Howe. Draw dies on the dot. Walkoskis pulls it back to the corner. In behind the net now. Walkoskis battling. Howe battling. Howe up the far wall. Howe. Makasenka's over there. Can't get it to her. Put it ahead for Mrazek. Too far. Makasenka's going to go chase it down in the corner. They wave off the icing. Makasenka battling back there. Pushes it ahead to Mrazek. Mrazek in the near corner. Mrazek. I'm sorry, that's not Mrazek. That's Walkoskis. Walkoskis still skating with it. Walkoskis shoots. Goaltender gloves it up high on the near side. That corner's hard with the glass. It's hard for you to see. It's hard for me to see. That was Walkoskis in that corner. Walkoskis takes this draw. Pushes it lower. Colonials in the corner. Makasenka battling. Now Walkoskis joins. Into the corner, Makasenka. Makasenka looking to get it out. Centers it up high to Howe. Howe back down the boards to Makasenka. Doesn't get through. Colonials cut that off. They chip it by her in behind the net. They send it around. Mrazek got a stick on it. She sends it in lower to Makasenka. Makasenka pushes it back up towards Mrazek where the battle's occurring. You got Walkoskis coming off. Peets jumps on. Across to the Colonials. Colonials shoot. Kanachi directs that to the end wall. Mrazek and Makasenka now out here with Peets. Puck through the top of the goal over the Howe on the near side. Howe banks it up the wall. Makasenka knocked it down. It came out. Pete's battling for it. They take it away from Makasenka, and here they come down the near wall. Down the near wall. Oh, nice centering pass. It's loose up high. It's loose up high in the crease, and they push it over to the far wall as Mrazek tried to push it out to the point. Can't. She's still battling. They said they did deeper off Pete's stick. Might have been a chance for Mrazek and Makasenka to change. They've been out here a long time. They bounce it off the wall. Makasenka chips it out, and there they go. Here comes Stevens. Here comes Panetta. Puck back. Colonials regroup. They send it across. Marshall tries to put it up the wall for Stevens. Can't. Stevens comes down to get it. They both fall down. Down in the low circle. They turn. Can't get a shot off. Over to the wall. Panetta needs to go battle. Panetta's battling with a Colonial there. They send it in deeper. Goes in behind the net where Marshall's going to pick it up, send it around to the far wall. Stevens skates over. It's too far. She gets a stick on it, but it can't come out. Comes back into the center of the zone where Marshall chops at it. It's in her feet. She backhands it. It comes back to the Colonials. Panetta's going to come over and battle. Panetta pushes it ahead. Now Stevens joins, and here come the Colonials the other way. Colonials D to D or forward to forward pass at the blue line. Howe chipped that person, chipped them up. Stevens chipped it. Stevens out. Stevens ahead to Panetta, too far, and it's going to go into the corner. No icing. Panetta's going to go battle back there. Colonials take it from her. They're in the near corner now. They skate across. Klein. It's against the wall, and it chips back out to neutral. So we got Klein out here now with Panetta and Stevens, as Peets was off early last time. So Panetta and Stevens head to the bench, and we get Walkoskis and Claherty jumping on as that puck goes into the near corner. Still Litz and Zivkovic up high. In behind the net now. Klein reaches for it, can't direct it towards the net. Over to the near wall. Walkoskis comes to join the battle. It comes out Litz. Litz tries to send it in. The zone was full, and it died at the blue line. Klein and Walkoskis battling with a couple of Colonials. We got Claherty joining in. Claherty comes out of there. The puck sends it down the near wall. Into the corner where she's going to come out of there with it. Malia dances across the zone. Loses the puck as she comes through the near circle. Here come the Colonials. Puck back to the top of the zone. Colonials send it back to neutral. Zivkovic drops it ahead to Clardy. Clardy near wall. Sends it down that near wall into the corner. Odd bounce in behind the net where Walkoskis is going to go to work. Up the near wall. Litz has to retreat. Litz picks it up at neutral as Clardy leveled somebody. Litz over to Walkoskis, and you can hear the Colonials fans getting upset with the hitting that's happening. Into the corner, King. Yenny's out there now. See if we can get Sherwood and complete the crazy eights. As Yenny gets leveled by a Colonial in neutral ice. That could have been interference on Yenny. Here comes King the other way. The crazy eights are aligned. Yenny shoots. Goaltender gloves it with 2:54 first period. There's 15 of you out there on a Sunday, and I'm grateful as always. So Kinger's going to step in with Yenny and Sherwood. Kiesel and Dahl out the backside. Far circle face-off, 2:54. 8-4 shots, 1-0 score. Stripes blows that dead. Not sure what the call is here. It's some type of problem. Not sure what. They threw King out. Now we got Sherwood coming in. Sherwood takes the draw. Sherwood comes out of there with it. She puts it out to Kiesel. It came out of the zone. Dahl puts it back ahead to King. King handles it, sends it down the wall where the Colonials chip it back to the point, and they battle with it there, and here comes King. King one-on-one. King with Sherwood. King finds the top left corner of the net. King skated in between the circles, finds the top left corner of that net, and it's 2-0 Selects with 2:35 first period. 9-4 shots, 2-0 on the board, and Izzy King makes a play and finds the top left corner of that net to make it 2-0. Clardy, Mrazek, Makasenka, Kiesel and Dahl. That face-off comes back to Howe. Howe bounces it off the wall for Makasenka. Makasenka near side. Makasenka dances around a Colonial, comes in. Makasenka drops it into the center. Mrazek wasn't far enough up. Over to the far wall where Dahl's going to hold the point, send it down to Mrazek. Mrazek stripes, get out of the way. Puts it back up to the near point. Dahl tries to hold, and Kiesel steps over. Can't hold it. There's some contact there as it comes back ahead to Makasenka. Makasenka up the far wall. Makasenka with room. Tries to throw it in, blocked by a Colonial. Picks it back up, comes into the near circle. Makasenka shoots. Goalie sends that to the near corner. Kiesel chips it low, and we're going to get a stoppage for either something with the net or something with the goalie. It appears to be an issue with the net and the moorings with 2:02. We're going to change the back end with Marshall and Howe. I see Klein coming out here. Clardy. We're going to leave Makasenka and Mrazek. So we're going to go into the near corner here. And get this draw. Klein drops it to herself. It comes to the near dot. And they're going to send it back out. Howe's going to chase it down top of our defensive zone. Odd bounce off the boards. Howe surveying. Sends it up. Gets it out ahead to Makasenka. Makasenka turned the wrong way and got trapped at the wall. Colonials take that off of her and send it in low. Klein battling behind the net over to the near wall. Marshall holding the point. Klein falls down, holds the puck. Stevens out here now with Klein and Panetta. As that comes loose, Stevens couldn't get a stick on it. It drifts back out to neutral. Howe chips it. Panetta overskates. Panetta pushes it ahead. Stevens comes through there with it. Stevens knocks it into the zone. They're going to have to chase that down in the corner. And the Colonials are going to get there first and send it around as Panetta holds it. Stevens comes out of there with it. They're digging. Stevens centering pass comes all the way out to Howe. Howe has lots of room. Howe shoots. Goalie gloves it. And we're going to get a stoppage with 1:07 to go. First period. We're going to go to that far circle. 1:07. Panetta, Stevens, Peets, Marshall, and Howe. As there's a Colonials player, looks like she has a bloody nose over there on the bench. They're tending to her. Panetta has the top of the circles. Panetta sends it low. Peets can't get a stick on it. They take it over to the far wall. They chip it out past everybody, and Marshall needs to get the wheels going. She does, picks it up. Marshall all the way around behind, up the wall, and out. Pete's got to get the wheels going. It hit her in the chest. It's going to drop off for Stevens. Here comes Stevens up the near wall. Stevens dances around one player. Stevens loses the puck. Panetta picks it up, sends it over to Peets. Peets turns and shoots. Goalie pushes that to the far corner. Peets puts it in front for Stevens. Can't get it. Out to the far point, Howe. Howe pushes it in deeper. Back to Howe up the far wall. Howe throws it in deeper. Colonials player falls down. Panetta over to the near corner. 27 to go. Panetta up to the point to Marshall. Marshall sends it, hits Stevens in the leg and knocks her down. It was the back of the leg Marshall hit her in, the part that has no pads. We'll see if that affects anything. Comes all the way around, Walkoskis jumps on. Stevens going to head to the bench. And we're going to be offsides with 11.6 to go as Stevens headed to the bench after Marshall caught her in the back of the leg. Klein, Walkoskis, Claherty, Litz and Zivkovic. Over to Litz. 6 seconds to go. Down the near wall. Walkoskis. They battle there. Klein, Walkoskis. Sends it across to Claherty. Claherty up the wall. That's going to do it. First period ends. It's 2-0 selects on an 11-4 shot differential. I will be back for period number 2. All right, we're back for period number 2. We got Klein, Walkoskis, Claherty, Zivkovic, and Litz out back. Kanachi to my right as we get ready for period number 2. You can hear the crowd going. Klein stripes checks with everybody. Klein pushes it over to Walkoskis. Claherty overskates, and here come the Colonials the other way. Colonials top of the zone, get a shot off, miss badly to the far side where Zivkovic's going to pick it up, send it around too far for Klein. Colonials are going to get there first. Colonials hold it, Klein steps in. Walkoskis puts it over to the wall. Colonials from the point, put it in deeper. Litz is going to go chase that down behind. Litz around the back end. Litz up the wall. Oh, it's going to create a break too far for Claherty, and that's going to be an icing. Could have been a break, just didn't get off the boards far enough to make it happen. Litz had the right idea, but the wrong angle. And here come the Crazy Eights. King, Sherwood, Yenny. Out here with Litz and Zivkovic. 14:33. Second period. Kinger puts it over to Litz. Litz in deep. Sends it around. Yenny can't get a stick on it. Colonials hold. Colonials send it up. King battling. Litz battling. Colonials come out of there with it. Now it's going to be King. King chips it ahead to Yenny. Yenny backhands it weakly, which should negate the icing as it bounces on something. They wave it off. Sherwood gets a stick on it. It's loose. Oh, they banged it in. They banged that in. I got to see. It might have been King. King followed that up. The goaltender was lazy, and I think King banged that in. And it's 3-0 selects. Goaltender got a little lazy on that one, didn't cover it up. And just like that, it's 3-0 selects. Izzy King following that up. And that'll do it. So we're going to stay with the Crazy Eights. We got Dahl and Kiesel on the back. It comes back to Dahl. Dahl chips it ahead right to a Colonial. It goes all the way down. Kanachi's going to leave that on the line for Kiesel. Kiesel around the back. Kiesel bounces it off the wall ahead to Sherwood. Sherwood battling, sends it ahead to Yenny. Yenny pokes it out. Here comes King. It's in her feet. Yenny, or Sherwood rather. Now the Colonials, and Yenny gets a stick in there and takes that away, sends it back. Colonials at their blue line. Skate ahead. Dahl, around Dahl. Kiesel trips that player up. Doesn't trip her up, but stops her up as we get a little post-whistle action in front of the net with King and a Colonials player as Kanachi covered that up as it drifted in. Joey Mrazek in the house. Haven't seen him in forever.
We just came back from Erie.
Just back from Erie for Erie Whiteout weekend. Oh, no, this is Sarah Backstrom weekend. Joey Mrazek in the house.
Wildcats won, so we're...
Oh, I messed the clock up talking to Joey. So we're in the near corner. I'll get the clock fixed here. Out to the top of the circles here, they shoot. It doesn't get all the way through. Back out to the top. They send it down into the corner. I'll get the clock in line. I was excited to see Joey as Klein comes up the near wall. Klein skating with it. Klein still skating with it. Klein, and they're going to be offsides, and I'm still not in line. I got 8 more seconds. Either Kylie or Elena got ahead of her. I don't know which one it was. One of them was ahead of her. So they're going to come here to the near, oh no, they're going to the far dot, which is odd because they were on this side, but whatever. Stripes controls 51% of the shares. He makes the decision, and they're going to battle on the wall. Makasenka dumps it in deep. Get the clock in line here in a few seconds. And now we're back in line. Into the near corner, Howe. They're battling there. And they're going to continue to battle there. It's going to come up the near wall and out as Howe picks it up back on the top of the defensive zone. Howe bounces it ahead too far for Mrazek. And the Colonials are going to pick it up there. They're going to send it across on the red line. They're going to dump it in deep as that Colonial falls down from the force of the dump. And, they send it in on Kanachi. And they cleared off the doorstep. This time it goes out to the far point. Colonials player all alone out there on the far point. Sends it, bouncing. Kanachi puts that to the far corner. And now Peets is going to pick it up. We got Peets out there with Mrazek and Makasenka still. And Howe chips it ahead, and Mrazek can't pick it up. They send it in, miss near side. In around back, Marshall. Marshall bangs it, but that's going to go for an icing. So with 12:25 to go, I'm going to see Stevens and Panetta come out here to join Peets with Zivkovic and Litz as we're going to come down here to, we'll see where they're going. Should be the far circle, but we'll see where Stripes goes. The players think it's the far circle. And it is. So we're going to draw there. Peets, guys on the dot. Panetta puts a stick on it. Comes in on Kanachi. She uses the blocker and puts it over to the far wall where Panetta's battling. Panetta, Peets jumps in. Peets pokes it up the wall. Colonials poke it back into the morass. You got a player sitting on her bum. Peets trying to force it past her. Now she gets whacked with a stick by the Colonials. Stick gets by Stevens, bouncing puck in behind Kanachi. Zivkovic tried to get a stick on it, couldn't. Litz now battles. Colonials behind the end line. Peets pushes, careful Mel. Colonials player falls down. Careful, careful. Litz is pushing. Be careful, girls. Too much pushing in the back. Colonials up the wall. They stop, they turn, they throw it lower. Zivkovic back there now with the Colonial. They send it around. Up the wall. Stevens goes over. They're battling. Up ahead to Panetta. Here comes Panetta one-on-one. Panetta down the near wall. She's going to run out of angle. She's looking for a pass. Can't get it through. Peets. Stevens whacks it into the center. Panetta can't get a stick on it. Colonials pick it up, send it past Litz. That's going to go all the way down and be an icing. So with 11:24, we'll come back here. Do it in the far corner, or far circle rather. We'll get a face-off. Clardy, Walkoskis, and Klein, Kiesel, and Dull come out here for this offensive zone face-off to the left of the Colonials goalie, the right on your screen at home, or whatever mobile device you're watching. This puck goes in behind the net. Colonials send it up the wall. Dull picks it up there. They drop it off, and it's going to be Clardy coming through the zone with it. Clardy dances around one, dances around another, falls down. It doesn't fall down, just loses the puck. In behind, Clardy into the wall. Colonials up the far wall. Colonials dancing, back to center. They come up the near side. They chip it in deeper. It's going to go into the corner. Klein's going to battle. Kiesel's going to battle. They're going to send it up the wall. Kiesel, or Dull's battling now. They come out of there with it. They send a shot in, and Kanachi gloves it as there's, again, a little bit of contact in front of the net. I hear a rumor it's Joey's birthday. Might have to sing happy birthday to Joey at the period break. He's 28 today, according to Joe. We know he's not an accountant, he's a lawyer, so we'll let him go on that one. Into the corner there, we got the Crazy Eights out here. Colonials high, blocked by Sherwood, into the near corner. They send it up the wall. Colonials hold the point. This time it's Sherwood chipping it out. Sherwood sent it in. They wave off the icing into the near corner where Sherwood's going to go battle. She's pushing a player off the puck. Colonials are going to pick it up there. They're going to come through the zone. They lose it. Yenny chips it in deeper. They send it up the wall. Hal cheats in. They chip it by her, and Marshall's going to turn around and pick it up, send it back the other way. Colonials come up the near wall, into the center, send it across to the far wall, where Marshall cuts it off. Marshall behind the net. Marshall turning, still skating. Marshall still skating. Marshall still skating. Marshall to the far side, dumps it in the middle for Yenny, who can't handle it. Marshall picks it back up, sends it deeper. Yenny's there. Yenny try to put it up the wall. It bounces out to the bottom of the far circle. Comes up to the far point. Colonials with Howe. Howe gets a stick in there and slows him down. That's going to be offsides, as Howe's stick impeded the Colonials player enough that her line mate jumped in ahead of her, and now we've got Walkoskis coming out here with Mrazek and Makasenka. Dot in front of the Colonials bench. Walkoskis going to take this draw. Walkoskis pushes it back. Colonials send it ahead. It's in Mrazek's feet. She turns, sends it back the other way. It comes up to Makasenka. Makasenka knocks it into the far corner. Bounce into the crease. Goalie leaves it. Walkoskis picks it up. Walkoskis throws it in front. It's loose. Makasenka comes in and chips at it. Can't put it in the net. She tries to center. Can't. It's in behind the net. Mrazek falls down in front. Colonials pick it up there. They're coming up the far wall. They send it back into the center. It's going to create a break. Litz needs to hurry. Litz comes across, steps in front of her. Mrazek gets a stick on it and sends that into the far corner. Walkoskis bangs it up the wall. Makasenka tries to get a stick on it, can't. Over to the far wall. Walkoskis chips it ahead to Mrazek, or Makasenka, she can't get it out. Now they do back to neutral. Colonials send it back. Walkoskis battling on the wall. Now we've got Litz battling. Litz, top of the defensive zone, turns, surveys. Turns back the other way, bounces it up the wall. Not out. Walkoskis gets it out. Walkoskis puts it ahead to Mrazek. Mrazek streaking one-on-one. Mrazek up the far wall, dumps it into the corner and heads for a change. I see Stevens. I see Peets. I see Panetta. Colonials with it behind the net. Zivkovic cuts it off but can't hold. Peets waits for Stevens to get out and takes it down the near wall. She loses it there. She pursues. Comes all the way back. It's going to go, but it's not going to be. As Panetta comes, as the Colonials are changing, we need to be quick about this. Panetta with a pass up to Stevens. Stevens looking, waiting for Peets. Stevens puts it to Peets. Peets didn't ever stick there. Now it's in behind the net. Peets is going to go battle round past Stevens. We were changing the back end, and it was slow. We'll see if that hurts us as the Colonials come down the near wall. They turn as I think that was Dahl that hurried back to provide some pressure as Stevens sends it up the wall to the far point. Colonials hold there as Stevens crashes her. Comes in on net. Kanachi directs that. They're battling in front. Dolan of Colonial. They're still battling right there in the crease. This time it's going to be Peets. Peets battling behind the net. You feel a little bit of a momentum change here. I'm hoping that's not true. Colonials behind Kanachi. Colonials, they send it out to the near point. Colonial shoots. Stevens blocks that up high. Panetta iced it. And we're going to get a whistle. She had some room to skate there. I don't know if they were trying to get off or what, but nonetheless, she chose the icing. And now we're going to bring it back down here. As Klein, Claherty, Walkoskis, Dahl, and Kiesel come out onto the ice. They send it over to the far circle, 7:35 second. Shot gap is closing. It's 13-9. Over to the far, or the near point. Collision with Claherty. Puck down the far wall. Kiesel sends it up the wall, but not out as the Colonials pick it in low. Kanachi with a big save, point blank range. Kiesel behind the net, near wall. Kiesel bounces it up that near wall, but not out. Near point, they shoot it in. Blocked by somebody from the Selects. Dahl puts it ahead to Claherty. Claherty picks it up one-on-one. Here comes Claherty up the far wall. Claherty around. Claherty can't contain it as it goes in behind the net. Dahl has the puck, pushes it up the far wall. Colonials intercept that here. They come the other way. They get it ahead. It's going to go too far. We're going to wave off the icing on a tip into the near corner, where it's going to be picked up by a Select. Oh no, point blank range Kanachi says no and pushes it in behind the net. Lots of action back there now as the Colonials beat and bang. You got Dahl falling down, and they put it in. They were beating and banging. They put it in. As Kanachi was down, Dahl was down. They were beating and banging down there, and they found the back of the net. And that's going to make it 3-1 with 6:40 to go. As Dahl and Kiesel, Clardy, Walkoskis, and Klein could not get it away from Kanachi, and Kanachi was down. They kept pushing, and they found net. Crazy eights, Howe and Marshall come out for this draw. I felt that momentum changing a little bit. I hate to say it, but it did. Here comes the puck the other way. Howe. Colonials take it off her. Howe pulled her down, no call. Marshall loses it. It comes in low. Cut off by Howe. Howe behind the net. All the way around far side. Howe pushes it up the wall, gets it to Yenny. Yenny tries to put it ahead to Sherwood, does. Sherwood turned the wrong way, drops it, leaves it for King. King tried to chip it ahead, couldn't, as Yenny takes it in. They are offsides. The shots have evened up, 13 apiece. We're going to go to the far dot in front of the selects bench. Crazy eights, Howe and Marshall. King comes into the zone with it, loses it. Colonials pinch on her in between the two circles. Bounce it up the wall, Sherwood cuts it off. Sherwood throws it in deeper, King can't handle it. Back, Sherwood gets a stick on it, it comes to the point, here come the Colonials. Colonials up the far wall, they send it across, or up the near wall, send it across to the far wall. Yenny backhands at the King. It's going to be a 2-on-2 with Sherwood. King and Sherwood. King looking, tries to put it across. Sherwood was trailing the play too much. Now they throw it in front, and the goaltender makes a save with 5:46. Clardy, Makasenka, Mrazek, Zivkovic, and Litz jump on. 5:46 second, 3-1 selects. 14-13 shots. Clardy. Clardy takes this draw, sends it into Makasenka. Makasenka puts it to the end wall. Colonials come out of there with it up the near wall. They're battling for it. Colonials have it on the near wall. Here they come up that near wall. They chip it up high, send it along the wall. Litz sends it back. Mrazek battling. Now Clardy joins the battle. Colonials send it through the goal mouth over to the far wall, where they're going to pick it up. Zivkovic can't get it out. Zivkovic gets a stick on it. This time it does come out. Clardy chipping at it. Clardy gets a stick on it. She turns, sends it down the wall. Mrazek gets stuck in her feet on the blue line. She sends it in. Colonials are going to pick it up. Mrazek battles on the line. It comes out. Zivkovic ahead to Clardy. Clardy turns, loses it there. Here come the Colonials. And the player got turned, and she beat the puck into the zone and was offsides on herself with 5:01, second period. Stevens, Panetta, Peets, Dahl, Kiesel, far dot in front of the Colonials bench. Peets whacks it back. Colonials send it across. Colonials up the wall, in deep, behind Kanachi. Kanachi puts the stick down. No choice but to cover that one up, because it was an odd angle. And they're going to go to the far circle for a draw. Stevens, Panetta, Peets, Dahl, Kiesel. As Peets steps in, Peets pushes it, Panetta steps in. Dahl comes out of there with it. Dahl behind the net. Dahl up the wall. Stevens gets a stick on it, pushes it. This time it comes out. Here comes Panetta. Panetta one-on-one. Panetta up the near wall. Panetta skates in, loses the angle. She's going to take it in behind the net. Looking for a center. Gets it in front to Stevens. Traffic in front. Peets picks it up. Peets puts it out to the near point to Dahl in her feet. Dahl regroups. Tries to send it. Gets blocked by a Colonial into the near corner. Up to the point, Dahl. Dahl holds it against Stevens. Comes out of there with it. Stevens rips it. Goaltender gloves it. And we're going to get a face-off in the near circle as Panetta, Peets, and Stevens head to the bench. Walkoskis, Clardy, Klein. We're going to keep Kiesel and Dahl on the back end. We're going to come to the near dot, 4:18. Near circle, rather, 4:18. A face-off. Dahl sends it. Goaltender throws that in behind. Walkoskis sends it. Save. In behind the net. Walkoskis and Klein were working together. Walkoskis comes out of there with it. Tries to center, can't hold on to it. Here come the Colonials. Walkoskis takes that away. Walkoskis sends it. Goalie pushes it to the near wall. Walkoskis into the near corner. That Mo's swinging back the other way right now. Can't get it down to Klein. Colonials. Knocked down by Walkoskis. Walkoskis sends it into the corner. Colonials pick it up. They send it to the top of zone. Clardy. Clardy out to Dull. Dull sends it, blocked by a Colonial. They're going to ice it to take the heat out of the kitchen. And we're going to get the Crazy Eights. Sherwood. Yenny and Kinger, backed by Marshall and Howe. 3:40 to go. So our Steel City families are scattered as always. We got Brett up in New York with Jacob. We got Joey, just came back from Erie with, looked like Angeline. I'm sure there's more. That's why we do this. Colonials low, send it into the center of the zone. Marshall cheats up. See if that's going to create a problem. We got Howe. Howe steps over, sends it back the other way. The team catches up. Howe, top of our zone, looking for an up pass. Bounces it up ahead to Sherwood, too far. Colonials have it top of their zone. They send it across. Yenny gets a stick in there. Colonials have it neutral. Back past Marshall into the corner. Now behind the net where Howe's going to pick it up. Howe reverses direction. Collides with a Colonial. They're going to battle behind Kanachi. Kinger steps in. Kinger comes out of there with it. Kinger looking up. Kinger dangerously in front of her own net. Here she comes, 3-on-2. If Marshall hurries, it'll turn into a 4-on-2. Only one problem. They forgot the puck. Turns back the other way. Here come the Colonials. Yenny gets a stick in there. Shot. Kanachi had trouble with it. Rebound. Kanachi shaking her head. You got to get back in the game, Jovi. Don't worry about that. Whack! And we're going to get a penalty on the Colonial for a whack behind the net. We'll see if it's Colonials or if they got Yenny first. Looks like they might have got Yenny first and they didn't get the retaliation. I didn't see Yenny hook. I saw the retaliation. They called the hook. They didn't call the whack. So we got Yenny going to go sit. I see Litz. I see Zivkovic. I see Stevens, joined by Panetta, to kill off a critical penalty. 2:47, second period. Defensive zone, Panetta taking the draw. Colonials out to the near point. That was Zivkovic, blocked that one. Zivkovic iced it. Going to come back down here to the near circle. Stevens, Panetta, Litz, and Zivkovic. We didn't get that one tipped off of a Colonial on the ice. So we're going to come back down here as they strategize and strategery on this faceoff. Looks like Stevens is going to take this one as the Colonials make some changes here. 2:38 to go. Stevens puts it across for Panetta. Panetta comes out of there with it, cannot clear. Panetta gets pushed out of the play. Loose up top, shot blocked by Stevens. Stevens chips it. It's going to go all the way down, arms up, and it will be slow icing. 2:22, a minute 5 in the penalty to Yenny. We're going to change the kill team. I see Klein, I see Walkoskis, I see Dull, I see Kiesel. They come out to kill, a minute 5 to Yenny on a hook. Klein steps in to take this draw far side. Puts it over to Kiesel. Kiesel behind the net. Kiesel up the wall. Walkoskis going to have to go do battle. She does not come out of there with it. Near point, Colonials. Colonials send it in deeper. Heavy battle with Dull. Colonials player falls down. Klein. Klein in the corner. Tie it up or send it up. Either way, it works. Colonials come out of there with it on the near wall. They skate to the near point. Skate over to the far point. Colonials player can't handle it. That lets Klein get over there. They send it in deeper. Kiesel. Kiesel up the wall. Can't get it there. Colonials player falls down. Kiesel gets cross-checked in the back, and we're going to get a penalty on the Colonials as Kiesel got cross-checked in the back. She looks at her and says, that's a no-no. So we're going to even it up here. We're going to play 32 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey, and then your selects are going to get 58 on the power play. So they're going to send out Clardy and Stevens. Looks like with Kiesel and Dull. They got one too many here, unless Walkoskis. Yeah, Walkoskis going to head to the bench. Clardy and Stevens. Dull and Kiesel, 4-on-4. As comes across to Stevens. Stevens tries to hold it, overskates it. Kiesel steps up, chips it in deeper. 25 seconds to go. Clardy skates behind the net, can't cut it off this time. Dull holds it at the point. Stevens covers her high. Stevens picks it up, golfs it in deeper. Colonials have it. Comes back to the point, Dull. Dahl sends it in on the net. Goaltender pushes it to the corner where Clardy should get there first. Clardy puts it out to the point. Kiesel holds it. Kiesel puts it down to Clardy in the corner. 6 seconds to go, and we're going to have a power play. Clardy dancing in the corner with it. Clardy with a move. Clardy tries to center. Stevens fighting a battle in front of the net. Out to the point to Dahl. Dahl puts it down to Stevens. Stevens turns. Goalie makes a pad save into the corner. Stevens puts it in front. You got Klein stepping up. Klein puts it into the corner. 46 seconds of power play now. Stevens on the near wall. Out to Dahl at the point. Dahl down to Stevens. Stevens centers. Doesn't hit Clardy as Clardy picks it up on the wall. Clardy whacks a shot. Misses to the near side. Over to the near point, Dahl. Dahl puts it down the wall to Stevens. Stevens battling. Klein steps in. Out to the point. Dahl can't hold as the Colonials clear it, and it's going to create a one-on-one with Kiesel on the far wall as Makasenka cheats back. We're going to get some wholesale changing now as Kiesel picks it up behind Kanachi. Mrazek calling for it up high. Too far, and we got Klein out here with Makasenka, Mrazek, Kiesel, and Dahl now. As that puck comes down the near wall, Kiesel held up the player. That let Dahl come over. Bounces over into the near wall. They're going to battle over there. Hold it on that wall. That's going to kill that penalty. Stick up high, no call on the girl hit Kiesel, or hit Dahl up high as Klein comes out of there with it. Klein dancing with it up the near wall. Here she comes, right in front of us. Klein. They hold the line. Here comes Klein up the far side. Klein rips a shot. Goaltender gloves it. And with 2.8 to go, second period, we're going to get a face-off in the offensive zone. Howe and Marshall. They're going to send out Klein, Peets, Panetta, and Stevens. 2.8 to go. We're going to load it up, empty net. That face-off goes into the goalie. Goalie covers it. And inexplicably, the period ran out, even though the whistle had blown. And it's 3-1. We'll come back for 3. Brett, if you're listening, Josh is down there yelling for Renegade. I don't know if DJ Noisy Noise has it or not, but if you were here, you could sing us your a cappella rendition. All right, they're coming out for 3. Beats Panetta, Stevens, Howe, and Marshall. They drop it back. Panetta turns, sends it ahead. Colonials. Peets gets a stick in there in front of me. Now Panetta battles, puck up high. Stevens knocks it down on the line. They're going to battle there. The Colonials are going to knock it in deeper. They're going to get a shot off. They send it across. Far corner, where Howe picks it up. Howe skates it, dumps it out. Colonials send it back past Howe, Marshall. Marshall picks it up. Marshall chips it ahead, too far for Peets. They wave off the icing. Goes in behind the net. Panetta battling back there with it. Colonials send it up the near wall. Marshall comes over. Stevens gets a stick in there, be careful. Marshall separates that player from the puck as she steps in front. Marshall comes out of there with it, sends it around back for Howe. Howe pushes it up the wall. She follows it. Howe skates around one, leaves it for Panetta. Panetta ices it to get a change. There, DJ Noisy Noise found a little Renegade. Took a second. We got Klein going to step in and take this draw. 14:01 to go. She takes it, drops it on the circle, comes out to the far point. Colonials hold in behind the net. We got Litz, sends it up the wall, but not out. Colonials near point, send it in deeper. Walkoskis, here she comes. She's going to skate it out. She's got Clardy ahead of her to the right. She takes a whack from the stick. She comes up the far wall. Walkoskis still skating. Walkoskis shooting. Goalie gloving. 13:41. Walkoskis up the far wall with a nice shot. Goalie with a nice save. So we're going to go to that far circle. So we're going to go into that far corner. Klein, Clardy, Walkoskis, Litz, and Zivkovic. Guys on the dot, Klein battles, pushes it into the corner. Or Klein's going to push it up the wall. Walkoskis battling. They send it down lower into the center of the circle. Clardy can't get a stick on it out to the far point. Zivkovic can't hold. Zivkovic stops, turns, surveys. Sends it ahead. Walkoskis up the far wall, has a little bit of room. Walkoskis loses it at the line. Sends it across the line. Litz didn't have a choice. She had to retreat. The Colonials were breaking. Colonials up the near wall. They get it across the line. Walkoskis dances. Klein dances. Here comes that Colonial around everybody. Still dancing with it. Walkoskis gets a stick in there. Can't strip it. Colonials far circle. Colonials center it. Comes off a skate over to the near wall. Litz skates it out. Litz up ahead. Too far for Clardy. It's going to go into the near corner, but not before. It's going to be an icing. I see the crazy eights, Dull and Kiesel coming to the near circle. $13 minutes even. Kinger. Into the corner. Colonials came out of there with it, never got a shot off. Puck dies on the dot, everybody overskates. Yenny pushes it to the wall. Colonials. It's loose on the top of the circle. Sherwood puts it over. They hold it at the near point. Yenny gets in there. Separates that player from the puck momentarily. They send it in deeper. It goes through Dahl's legs to the corner. Colonials pick it up there, send it into the dot. Yenny skates up. Yenny chips it below the goal. King gets a stick on it. King, near wall, up ahead to Yenny. Too far, comes out. Colonials have it. Yenny applies lots of pressure as this comes across to Kiesel. Kiesel skates it up. Kiesel up the far wall. Kiesel skating through everybody. Kiesel gets a shot off blocked. Goaltender covers. Kiesel got the shot off. Somebody got a stick down, took most of the energy off of that puck, and it drifted into the goalie for a cover. 12:21. See Clardy, Mrazek, Makasenka. Kiesel and Dull. Near corner. Clardy's going to step in. Clardy takes the draw. Sends it deep. Clardy picks it up. Pushes it around behind the net. She still has it. She's still skating with it. Goes in the corner. She stops, turns, still behind the net. Sends it in lower. Makasenka back, trying to get it back to Clardy. Now Makasenka. Makasenka out front. Makasenka dancing. Sends it in behind the net to Clardy. Clardy's going to hurry, get over there. Clardy out to the point. Dull can't hold it. And it's going to come all the way back. And Kiesel is going to pick it up and come the other way. Kiesel tried to chip it out. Couldn't. Colonials hold it. They send it in. It gets past Dull. Colonials hurry, get over there. It's going to turn. It's loose in front. Still loose in front. Dull puts it out to the top of the circle where they shoot. Miss high to the near side. Makasenka over there battling Colonials. Send it in deeper. Kiesel joins the battle. Colonials have it. They center it. Doesn't get through. Dull knocked that off. Now they're behind the net battling. Colonials come out of there with it. Now they tie him up again. Over to the far wall. Dull with Makasenka and Mrazek breaking. Puts it ahead to Mrazek. Can't get it out. This time it does chip out. Colonials. They send it back deeper. Mrazek pushes it up the wall. Colonials pick it up, come back the other way. They stand him up at the line. Here comes Clardy. She forgets the puck. They send it back the other way. That's going to be on offsides. With 11:09, third period. 23-14, the shots have tipped back in favor of the Selects. Stripes is going to bring it back to center. Peets, Panetta and Stevens, Howe and Marshall. Peets drops it off, picks it up herself. Colonials take it. They battle in front of me. They send it into the top of the zone. They get a shot off, miss badly to the far side. Howe tries to push it ahead, can't. Colonials hold it in the corner. Howe battling hard, sends it up the wall. Colonials cut that off. Now it's going to be Panetta. Panetta pushes it to the wall. Stripes get out of the way. Colonials player lost the glove. It's Marshall. They push it ahead to Stevens. Stevens up the far wall. Stevens looking for a pass. Put it ahead to Peets too far. Peets into the corner. Peets battling in that corner. Sends it down lower to Stevens. Stevens centers. Panetta wasn't there. Panetta gets a stick tied up. They send it across to the wall where Panetta picks it up and overskates. Comes back the other way. Stevens lifts a stick. Stevens comes back the other way. They're in front of me battling. Now they send it back. Does Marshall, and it goes all the way down No icing as Peets is going to go chase that. Stevens heads to the bench. Howe holds it, sends it in. Cut off by a Colonial. Here they come back the other way. Howe cut that player off. Clardy's jumped on for Stevens. Clardy, Peets, Panetta. Puck comes across the top of the zone. Clardy can't get it. Here come the Colonials back the other way. 2-on-4. Colonials. Panetta ties up the player. Colonials still have the puck. Now Howe. Howe picks it up. Howe sends it high into the Steel City Selects bench. As it bounces off the Karski and Spokane orthodontics sign that you can't see, but I can. So we got Klein coming out here with Walkoskis and Clardy. Zivkovic and Litz. Face off in the far circle. Puck dies. Walkoskis pokes it ahead. Now Klein. They send it back the other way. Zivkovic turns, sends it back this way. Colonials. Clardy gets a foot on it. Walkoskis chips it ahead. He still can't pick it back up as it comes back to neutral. Zivkovic sends it ahead. Here comes Clardy up the far wall. Clardy into the center of the zone. Clardy, Walkoskis now. Walkoskis skating. Walkoskis gets a shot off. Goaltender makes a blocker save at the last minute. Klein. They're chipping. They're beating. They're banging. It's loose in front. They're still beating and banging. Clardy shoots. Goaltender with a save. And a cover. 9:29. 3-1 Selects. 24-14 shots. 25-14 shots. Near circle. Klein gonna step in here. Klein sends it over into the near corner. They're battling for it there. Litz steps up, bodies the player and holds it. Klein takes it down the near wall. Comes out this time and Zivkovic has to turn and maintain it and send it back the other way where the Colonials are gonna regroup under heavy pressure from Walkoskis. Comes back across. This time it's Zivkovic. Zivkovic chips it in. But Walkoskis and Clardy had not cleared, and that is an intentional offsides. They're going to bring it all the way back down here. Crazy Eights with Kiesel and Dahl. 9:08. I'll get the clock in sync. Kanger going to take this draw. Clock back in sync. Out to the near point. Colonials can't hold. They send it across. Or Sherwood's going to step in, send it back the other way. Sherwood sends it back again. Dahl battling as a Colonials player falls down in front of their bench. Here they come up the far wall. Dahl gets a stick in there. Still battling. Shot. Kanachi pushes that off the back of the net. Goes up the far wall. Sherwood's not going to get there as a Colonial jumps on. Now Sherwood will get there as she overskated. Here comes Sherwood up the far wall. Sherwood stopping, surveying, backhanding in front. Yenny couldn't get a stick on it. She stops, she turns. She tries to throw it in front. It goes off the side of the net. Puck in behind the net now. Into the corner. We got Dahl skating low. Dahl still skating with it. Dahl stops, loses it. Colonials come the other way. Sherwood's changing. She needs to stay in the play. Block yells at her to stay. They skate around her. Kiesel. They skate around Kiesel. They don't get the shot off as King steps in and stops that puck. They send it back the other way. This should let the Crazy Eights get off. I see Klein jumping on. I see Mrazek jumping on. I see Makasenka jumping on as the Colonials come back the other way. They chip it up the wall. Kiesel. They send it back. Makasenka. Here comes Makasenka. Makasenka puts it over to Klein. Klein up the near wall. Klein breaks in. Klein can't get it. Klein gets her shot. Mrazek had the rebound, couldn't bury it. It's loose in front. They're beating and banging. It goes over to the far wall. Mrazek had the rebound, couldn't bury it. Now Makasenka in the near corner. Makasenka skates out. Makasenka throws it in front, tip to the far corner. Colonials try to push it up the wall. They do. Howe retreats. They hold him up at neutral as Howe gets shouldered. She turns back into it and sends it back in. And Klein's going to head to the bench. Into the corner. Marshall up at the near point. It gets by her. Here come the Colonials the other way. As Peets jumped on. We got Peets and Howe back. Marshall joins the play. Howe pushes that play to the corner. Peets battling. Another Colonial picks it up. They get a shot off. Goes in behind the net near corner. Colonials. Colonials send it in behind stripes. Where Peets picks it up. Peets has Mrazek and Makasenka streaking. Peets dumped it ahead and didn't do much with it as Stevens jumps on for Mrazek. Makasenka has a chance to go play it in the corner. She has Stevens trailing. Makasenka comes around. Her stick gets lifted, loses the puck in the corner as they ride her into the corner. Stevens comes out of there with it. Stevens throws it on net. Goaltender blocks that up high. Peets is in behind. Peets battling. Stevens comes into her position as Peets gets pulled down, and we're going to get a penalty on the Colonials for pulling down Peets behind the net. That should let Panetta come out and join Peets and Stevens And I see Litz and Zivkovic. So we're going to start this power play with Panetta, Peets, and Stevens. Litz and Zivkovic as we're going to go to the far circle on a roughing call against the Colonials. Shots are 30-14. Peets is going to step in for this draw. Peets puts it into the corner for Stevens. Stevens tries to center. It gets all the way through, but the Colonial cuts it off the last minute. Out to the near point to Litz. Litz chips it low. Centers it. That puck's loose. Peets didn't ever stick on the ice. Peets in the corner. Over skates. Centers it. Panetta didn't ever stick on the ice. Over to the near corner. Panetta out to Litz. Litz down to Panetta. Panetta tried to put it in the center. Colonials took that away. They're battling along the wall. Litz is going to have to retreat. Stevens comes over to help. Back to neutral Litz. Litz across to Zivkovic. Zivkovic sends it into the corner. Peets needs to go do some work, but the Colonials are well ahead of her. They jump in there. Stevens comes across. They're all three forwards. They're in that corner battling. Peets is, no, she's not, because the Colonials are going to get there first. Thought Peets was going to get, now Peets turns that Colonial the other way. Careful, Mel. They send it around. Panetta's going to get there first. Out to Litz. Litz sends it in behind the net, where Peets picks it up. Peets puts it up the wall for Zivkovic. 35 seconds to go in the power play. Sends it in lower where Panetta's going to pick it up. Panetta turning, surveying. Panetta shoots. Deflected up high into the far corner, Stevens. Stevens sends it low. Peets is working back there, shoulder into a player. Peets chips it around for Panetta. Panetta backhands it, doesn't make it to the net. Litz jumps in, sends it, misses near side. Peets has Stevens high. Peets brings it out into the crease herself. Colonials take it away. They're going to skate it up past Stevens, but not out as Zivkovic's going to hold the point. Zivkovic down as Stevens heads to the bench. Panetta in front of the net, can't tip it in. Penalty's going to be over. Out to Litz. Litz sends it in low. We had it in the zone the whole time. Malia skates up, can't get a stick on it. Zivkovic tries to hold, and that's going to be on offsides. So it was in the zone the whole time. They just didn't get the opportunities to bury it as Klein comes out here with Clardy. And Walkoskis, Kiesel and Dahl. Klein pushes it over to the near wall, Walkoskis sends it in deeper. Klein turning. Puck's loose, low. In behind the net now, 4:39 to go. Colonials have it. Colonials send it ahead, cut off by Walkoskis. Walkoskis chips it. Colonials send it ahead, cut off by Kiesel. Kiesel sends it to the line where Klein holds it, waits for Clardy to get out. Now it's turned into a battle. They're battling and it ends up in the zone as Walkoskis sends it in deeper. Walkoskis to Klein, puck comes out. Dahl turning. Dahl chips it ahead where the Colonials chip it back out and everybody's going to have to regroup. It's going to be, bad turnover there by Kiesel. She's going to recover and pick it back up along the near wall.
Go, Malia, go!
Now they send it back up the other wall for Clardy. Clardy up the near wall. Clardy into the corner. Clardy, bad angle, skates out, loses the puck. You got Walkoskis battling for it low. The Colonials throw it into the near corner. King skates up. They hold it momentarily. Here come the Colonials. Kiesel pushes that player to the wall, separates her from the puck. Dahl sends it back the other way for King. King whacks at it. Puck loose center ice, King. It's in their feet. Walkoskis is tied up. Colonials player tied up. They send it in down the near wall where they're going to battle there. King tries to get it out. Can't. Colonials hold it. They send it in behind the net. Dahl. 3:30 to go all the way around. Colonials hold it far point. King up the wall. They send it in lower. Dahl has it low. They send it up. Yenny can't chip it out. They're battling in front of the Selects bench. It's tied up. Still tied up. Colonials push it in. It's going to go all the way down. Dahl's going to pick it up behind the net. Dahl takes it around to the near side in front in the near circle. Here they come. This turns into a little bit of a break if they hurry. Dahl up the far wall. Dahl still skating up the far wall with the puck. Stops, turns, surveys, loses it to a Colonial along the wall. Where King's going to step in. King leaves it for Dahl. Dahl puts it in front for Yenny, who can't handle it. Puck's loose in there. They're beating, they're banging, they're chipping at it. Won't go any lower as the Colonials send it over to the far wall, and Dahl's going to go change. Sherwood sends it in deeper. Sherwood's going to go changes. Yenny's going to battle. See Howe coming out. See Mrazek jumping on. As that puck comes up the near wall, Colonials with a pass up the near wall. Marshall's going to push that player, puck to the end wall. Howe's going to pick it up there. Howe's going to send it up the wall. It's not going to come out. This time it's going to be Marshall picking it up. Marshall chips it out ahead. Yenny can't pick it up too far. Up the near wall. They send it in. Marshall sends it back. Colonials have to wait for the zone to clear. Marshall catches it, sends it down. Marshall, cross pass for Yenny. Here comes Yenny up the far wall. Yenny gets the red line and dumps it, heads for a change. Mrazek and Walkoskis out there. This should bring out Makasenka. Makasenka joins Mrazek and Walkoskis as Marshall and Howe are out back. Howe corrals that. Sends it in as the zone clears into the far corner with 1:51. They've got it down low. They're battling low. Puck loose. Colonials pick it up there. Here they come up the near wall. They send it across. Howe separates that player from the puck in front of the Selects bench. Sends it up the wall for Makasenka. Makasenka dances at the blue line, loses it. It comes back out. Litz jumps on with Stevens. Litz separates that player from the puck, makes him push it in deeper. Litz sends it up the wall. Makasenka steps in. Colonials hold, at least for now. Comes back to Walkoskis. Walkoskis battles. Sends it out. Stevens gets a stick on it, loses it. It's inner feet. Walkoskis picked it up. Here comes Walkoskis up the far wall. Walkoskis drops it. Stevens can't handle it. Here come the Colonials back the other way. They send it to Litz. Litz waits for the zone to clear and sends it down the near wall. Makasenka's been out there a long time. She's going to, no, she's not. Makasenka's still not going to head to the bench. Now she finally does as Pete steps in at the line and cuts that off. Puck stays in the zone, goes over to the far side. Panetta now out here with Peets and Stevens. Panetta waits for the zone to clear, dumps it in. Pete's going to chase it down that wall. Panetta picks it up on the far wall. Panetta puts it down low. Pete's can't get a stick on it. Over to Stevens. Stevens can't handle it. They chip it out. Got to be careful. That was it. That was offsides. They didn't call it. Zivkovic battling. Here come the Colonials the other way with 27 seconds to go. They chip it in deep over to the near wall where they're going to turn. Stevens is going to got to be careful there. Stevens getting that stick in. The player falls down. Puck went up high, hit her in the head as she was down. Now Litz. It goes in deep behind Kanachi with 12 to go. In around the back. I'm a couple seconds ahead, maybe one. Stevens chips it out with 6 seconds to go. That should just about do it. 2 seconds to go. Stevens picks it up. Stevens with a shot. Hit the goalie. And that's the end of the game. Your Selects have won 3-1, and we'll be back this afternoon for more round-robin action in the Steel City Selects Invitation. I'll bring you the handshake to clear the YouTube delay, and we will be back this afternoon